Greetings, humans! Zedbot 1496 here, with a review of the recently released 4K UHD disc of The Keep. Now, you may ask yourself, what on earth is The Keep? Well, this would be a reasonable question. We ourselves had no idea what it was until the 4K disc community started buzzing about it, as an extremely unlikely 4K catalog remaster that was being released by boutique studio Vinegar Syndrome. Well, this is Michael Mann's second film from way back in 1983. Yes, that Michael Mann, the one who made Miami Vice, Heat, and Collateral. Except, this is not a stylized crime drama, but rather a supernatural horror cut with some World War II drama. Sounds bizarre, right? Well, it is, but in a weirdly mesmerizing sort of way. So let us decompile that a bit. Okay, this is a movie that starts with Nazis rolling into an Eastern European town and taking over an ancient castle. Their brutality and greed awaken something in the fortress, and spooky stuff ensues. But it's not that straightforward. It's not quite an alternate universe fan edit of Raiders of the Lost Ark, say, but rather a telepod merger between Raiders, Das Boot, for which there is no 4K disc yet, Ridley Scott's Legend, and this Arrow Remaster HD is the best we expect we'll ever get, and David Lynch's Dune. Now, just so we're all on the same screen, the first two are masterpieces, and the latter two are utterly surreal, hammy, guilty pleasures you can't look away from. So, the Das Boot reference is earned, in part, because there's nuance in The Keep. One point of friction is between a fair fight German captain and a sadistic Nazi officer, where that German captain is played by Jürgen Prochnow, the duty-bound captain of the submarine in Das Boot, hence the other part of the earned reference, and also, incidentally, the Honourable Duke Leto Atreides in Lynch's Dune. There's a big, corrupting, devilish guy in their really trying rubber makeup effects, playing a role Tim Curry would more memorably later play as the big, corrupting, devilish guy from Legend. And all of it is suffused with the same dreamlike gauze over both the relationships between characters and the logical flow of events. Now, that dream theory is potentially supported by all the long-held dramatic poses with ghoulish gazes. Again, more Dune than, say, the Thriller video, now that we say that, but with as much smoke and lasers as the Thriller video. You also can't look away because you slowly realize that one guy is Ian McKellen. Yes, Magneto the Grey himself, having an access discussion with a Balrog, no less. And he even looks like he does today. What black magic is this? That eventually gets cleared up. But it's strange to see this collective protoplasm of talent running around with this script, for not only are there Jürgen Prochnow and Ian McKellen angsting it up, but Gabriel Byrne is mugging it up as the menacing Nazi. And then Scott Glenn rolls in, all buffed up and zoned out at a 72% Schwarzenegger level, as a kind of avenging Highlander who, with little preamble, also sleeps with the professor's daughter. Now, before you shake your fist at us and tell us we don't understand avant-garde cinema, that non-linearity and emphasis on surreal visuals to convey emotion is the point, well, we need to tell you that yes, we actually do get it, and are a big fan of the modern era's best presenter of it, the brilliant David Lynch, who sadly passed away recently. And also, yes, we are willing to consider a charitable view of this film, that this is all deliberate. But the fact is that Mann produced a 210-minute director's cut that the studio cut down to just 96 minutes. That original director's cut has never been made available, so we can't say for certain, but we deduce that when someone deletes 54.29% of your film, it's gonna come out disjointed. Now, we would be very interested in seeing that full-length version, but it's hard to imagine that the apocryphal director's cut would actually solve all the issues in play here. The film starts with a coherent hook about the keep itself, a high-concept supernatural mystery being unraveled by corrupted antagonists, which puts it into a sort of Twilight Zone container. But while a half-hour show can tell a stark story, a movie has to engage with a compelling theme and characters to keep our attention. Now, the theme of The Keep appears to be that two wrongs don't make a right, which is a strong one and a valid one, and that almost is suppressed into a C-plot while all the other dramatic things are going on. The avant-garde perspective is that this is meant to be unclear and dreamlike. Look at the ethereal smoke and the jumps in time. Listen to the score by Tangerine Dream. And frankly, we were truly brought into the mystery by the cavernous spaces and the clever billowing smoke effects, creating the effect of a menacing cloud reaching out to you. A very compelling effect, not just for 1983, but also set against today's often implausible effects. We do like the look of it, we like the message of it, and we like the scrapbooking of it, of some of our favourite actors and filmmakers stretching their formative abilities. A bit like watching THX 1138 or The Duel, the stripped-down early sparks from auteur directors Lucas and Spielberg. Alas, the film isn't quite in that league, and shares more with legend than anything else, which is not altogether a bad thing. But the thrills in the critical third act land less like chills and more like optical sensor rolls. They don't really measure up to what we've seen earlier in the film and look more like B-movie fare. And you can't let that happen if you've actually managed to suspend audience disbelief up to that point. Now, as for the disc itself, it presents a 4K scan and remaster of the original film negative, with HDR grading and a 2.0 DTS HD audio mix. The resolution varies through the film, due largely to the source material, which we infer based on when the shifts occur. Specifically, some shots appear out of focus, many are shot at night, which can increase film grain noise, and there is a lot of optical compositing in the effects shots, adding blurriness and desaturation. Having said that, many of the outdoor daylight scenes look exceptional, even razor sharp, and those swirling smoke effects still look mesmerizing. The HDR grade is a real treat here. While never having seen this film before, it certainly looks like it has more depth and presence than a typical home video presentation of a mid-80s film. As for the audio, we think the claustrophobic and atmospheric effects could have benefited from an Atmos track here, but boutique studios rarely have the budget for that. This DTS track is actually fine, the dialogue and score are clear most of the time, and the sound effects are reinforced with good low-frequency performance. The thing we were disappointed by was that the disc set only includes the studio theatrical 96-minute version of the film, and not the pre-release 210-minute director's cut. We learned of its existence after we finished watching this movie on disc and went on Wikipedia to try to understand why the second act feels disjointed and the third looks unfinished. Well, that drastic studio edit is a possible suspect. Until we can somehow see that mysterious director's cut, we are not quite sure what to make of what we saw. This may be an Earth mystery we never solve. So, for delivering a film that is both mesmerizing and distracting at the same time, for giving us a heretofore unknown view of some of our favorite actors doing a turn in a long Twilight Zone episode, in a package that merely includes the Studio 96-minute theatrical cut. The 4K UHD disc of The Keep earns our mixed rating. And so concludes this human version of our review. If you have feedback on it, please write in your comments so that we can upload the galactic version to Zoggplex. You can expect more discussions and reviews of theatrical movies, streaming shows, and 4K home video releases as we continue to engage with their human rectangular content. So, please watch, like, subscribe, and comment so that we can continue to have the human voice reflected in the cosmos. Until next time, farewell, humans.